Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're the place where we unpack the really big ideas, sometimes the surprising facts, from the sources you share with us.
And today, wow, we are jumping into a topic that feels like it's moving at light speed.
It really does. AI advancements, right?
Yeah.
Specifically, we're looking at some new ways people are measuring AI intelligence.
Yeah, and asking, are these just small steps? Or is something much bigger happening? Are we, on the edge of a totally new way humans solve problems?
Exactly. It's hard to keep up, isn't it? You see headlines every day.
Yeah, huh. Break those almost constantly.
Yeah.
It makes it tough to see the real significance past the noise.
Right. So what we want to do today is really dig into some recent news from a source talking about the near arrival of narrow AI superintelligence.
Yeah.
We want to figure out what these new AI scores, these benchmarks, actually mean for science, for medicine, for business, like right now or very soon.
And maybe how they could, I don't know, completely change how we even think about progress in the next couple of years.
Yeah, redefine it completely.
And what's really grappling me here is how these results are kind of bumping up against what we thought AI could do,
Yeah.
especially on tests, designed for really high-level human thinking.
Okay, so that brings us perfectly to this key thing our source mentions. They call it humanity's last exam, HLE for short.
HLE.
And the scores, well, let's just say they might make you rethink how close we really are to, well, a totally new AI era. Let's unpack this.
Okay. Yeah, this HLE benchmark is it's pretty central to their argument. It's designed specifically to test that higher-level reasoning, abstract thinking, not just spitting back facts.
Right, not just trivia.
Exactly. And the numbers are, well, they're getting up there. Our source points out OpenAI's ChatGPT Agent hit 41% on HLE recently.
41%, okay. And how does that stack up?
Well, compare that to Grok 4, which apparently scored 44%, a bit higher.
And hang on, wasn't there something about a heavy version?
Ah, yes, good point. Grok 4, when it's running in this heavy multi-agentic configuration, think of it like multiple AIs teaming up.
Okay, collaborating.
Yeah, collaborating, strategizing together. That setup actually broke the 50% mark on HLE.
50%. Wow. More than halfway on a test built for, human cleverness.
Right. And the source puts this into perspective, saying that historically, almost all the really big leaps in science and civilization came from people with very high IQs.
Mm-hmm.
So seeing AIs consistently hitting these kinds of scores on a tough benchmark like HLE, well, it's pretty remarkable. It suggests something deeper than just, processing speed.
It's not just about crunching numbers faster.
Exactly. It hints at actual cognitive ability.
And it isn't just these two players, right? The source mentions others.
No, definitely not. They note that other big names, Google, Deepseek, they're expected to be not far behind getting similar results. Plus, they also flag this blazing rate of progress, their words, on another key benchmark, ARC-AGI-2. That one's also focused on abstract reasoning.
So it's like a broad front moving forward very, very quickly.
Yeah, the whole landscape seems to be accelerating.
Okay, so benchmarks are going up fast. What's the big picture here? What does the source think this all points to?
They believe it points to something specific coming very soon. They call it artificial narrow domain superintelligence, ANDSI for short.
ANDSI. Okay, so not AGI, artificial general intelligence, which we hear a lot about. What is ANDSI, and why does the source think this distinction might or might not matter much?
Right. So ANDSI means AIs that really dramatically outperform humans, like way beyond top experts, but within specific areas, specific scientific fields or business domains.
So not one super brain that knows everything.
Exactly. Think of it more like an army of specialists, thousands of super genius AIs, but each one focused on something very specific, like, I don't know, designing new drugs or understanding complex climate models.
Okay, specialized superintelligence.
Yes. And the source makes this really bold claim that for human progress, the difference between having ANDSI and having true AGI is, quote, largely inconsequential.
That is bold, largely inconsequential. How do they back that up?
Well, they pose this question, which I think is really interesting. They ask, does it really matter at all to human progress if one scientist makes many world-changing discoveries across a multitude of scientific disciplines, or if thousands of scientists make those discoveries?
Okay, I see the point. So instead of waiting for one AI Einstein that can do everything,
We might be about to get thousands of specialized AI Einsteins, each transforming their own field.
right, which, if you think about it, could have a massive impact on how we do research, how we fund it, maybe even how we educate people. It's a different model of innovation.
It really is. It's a potential shift in just how discovery happens. And if we connect this back, the source predicts this ANDSI arrival is happening incredibly fast.
How fast are we talking?
They say it would be very surprising if we didn't have near-ubiquitous ANDSI by the end of 2026.
End of 2026. That's really soon.
And get this, they also say they wouldn't be surprised if we hit that milestone before the year is done, meaning potentially before the end of 2025.
Before this year is over. Wow. Okay, that's an extremely aggressive timeline. What does ubiquitous even mean in this context? Just lots of them.
It seems to mean more than just numbers, like deeply integrated into how things get done. In research labs, helping doctors with diagnoses, driving business strategy.
So not just lab experiments, but actual tools people are using daily to push boundaries.
That seems to be the idea. And the promise they paint for ADSI, it sounds, frankly, like science fiction. They describe millions of AIs working across multiple scientific, medical, and enterprise domains.
Millions.
All of them far more intelligent and knowledgeable than the most intelligent and knowledgeable human who has ever worked in each of those domains.
Oh, wait, stop there. Millions of specialized AIs, each one smarter and knowing more than any human expert in its specific field.
That's the picture they're painting.
What does that even unleash? What are the implications?
Well, it suggests we might need to completely reset our expectations for how quickly we can innovate, how fast we can solve huge problems. The source wraps up by saying AI is about to take off in a way that few expect it to happen so soon, and that by the end of this year, we'll be, quote, beyond amazed.
Beyond amazed. Okay, so let's just recap this deep dive then. We're seeing specific AI models hitting really high scores on tests for advanced thinking.
Right, benchmarks like HLE.
And our source believes this signals the very near arrival of what they call ANDSI, artificial narrow domain superintelligence.
These highly specialized, super smart AIs.
And their argument is that this kind of focused superintelligence could be just as revolutionary for humanity or for progress as the more talked about AGI.
Yeah, potentially unleashing millions of these AIs to accelerate discovery across tons of fields, maybe starting as soon as this year or next.
It really points towards a fundamental change in how progress itself happens, moving away from purely human breakthroughs towards something
Augmented.
accelerated.
Augmented, accelerated innovation. That sums it up pretty well.
So here's something to think about. As you consider this potential future, one with millions of AIs, each smarter than any human expert in its specific area, what does that really mean for us? For human innovation? For discovery, maybe even for how we understand intelligence itself. How could that change our goals, our ambitions for everything?
Lot to mull over there.
Definitely something to ponder. We'll leave you with that thought until the next deep dive.